Welcome back to the GTN show.
Yep, this week we're discussing the contentious debate as to whether or not TT bikes are now too dangerous for our public roads.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting discussion. That's been sparked by comments from Tom Pidcock. As well as that, we've got plenty of new signings and changes amongst the pro ranks.
Yeah, but sadly a big race cancellation. But on the flip side of that, a very exciting announcement of gravel triathlon racing.
All right, we're going to kick things off by taking a look through social media, and the pros are really starting to dial in now, aren't they, ahead of the season? Another bike fit going on, this time for Sam Appleton. He's got all the electrodes on and basically honing in his position with Ivan O'Gorman, who I think a few of the pros have been spotted using his skills.
Yeah, he's been a popular one over the years, the likes of Lionel Sanders and various others. But yeah, Sam Appleton, quite a strong biker. On the Giant Trinity, I say quite a strong biker, an incredibly strong biker, obviously. But yeah, very good position there. Also, there's been a bit of talk this last week or so of Javier Gomez purely focusing on long distance racing. Obviously, we knew he's stepping up to longer distance racing, but in a chat with Bob Babbitt on his Breakfast with Bob show, he does talk about saying, well, bye-bye to ITU essentially. I'm going to be doing very little, if any, ITU short distance racing. I'm purely focusing on St. George and long distance racing.
Yeah, I think we've seen hints of that, the way he's teamed up with Orbea and his partnership with Specialized ended, which could have been sort of the start of it. And maybe he's felt that frustration, of trying to do the both for the last few years, and now it's time to go, right, I'm going to nail this long distance.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've always been just so impressed with having Gomez, such a versatile athlete. I mean, he's an ex-Terra 70.3, short distance as well. But yeah, maybe, I mean, the young kids coming through on the short distance scene are pretty fast. I mean, it's hard to just kind of like mix up the distances like he was doing. Moving on as well, Caleb Dressel, Olympic swimmer, was spotted doing this in the swimming pool. Well, James and myself thought, heck, we'll have a go at this. Now, in theory, I thought it'd be very easy, and actually in the pool, when we started creating lots of bubbles, it was really hard.
What was hard?
Just seeing the wall. No, seeing the wall.
Oh, okay.
But here's us giving it a go too.
Well, that looked quite fun. Did you get dizzy?
Not too bad actually, but yeah, you got to hold your breath for quite a long time. Yeah, it's quite hard work.
Looked it. Talking of hard work, Sam Long is at it again. We know he loves to train hard, and he's just gone and extended his long run to a full marathon. And it's kind of weird because Mark and I actually, I was chatting to you about it last week, just how long his long runs seem to be. And he's often doing 22 to 24 miles and quite regularly so early in the season. And he's now gone and run 26.2 miles.
Yeah, 4:03 per kilometre pace. How do you do?
Casual. And I think he said that, I wish he'd started off a little bit quicker because his first couple of miles were slower, and if he'd known he was going to do the full, he would have just made it a little bit faster.
Clearly just one of those days where you just feel good, oh, actually, I might just keep going. Oh, I might actually push a bit harder.
I wonder how you feel the day after that, though.
Yeah, that is the problem, and a lot of people get lured into that. Now, we also on this channel have been big followers of the Inspired Unemployed Instagram channel, but also now YouTube channel. Some Aussie lads who have, just seem to have a great time, and they also have done a triathlon or two themselves.
I didn't know the triathlon part. I've only been following them for the last 6 months or so, and just love their entertainment and their choreography and their dancing skills and just their ability to take the mick out of just everyday life.
Yeah, well, the Ineos Grenadiers have actually picked up on this, and they've popped their riders' heads onto the people.
It's brilliant. I think we should have a go at replicating our own sort of dancing with cleats. I mean, not that I've ever done tap dancing, ever. I did ballet when I was about 5 years old.
Yeah, it might be you on your own, I'm afraid, Heather.
Could be an entertaining one.
Now then, anyone that likes their cycling racing may have tuned in for the UCI Cyclocross World Championships that took place this weekend in Fayetteville. I certainly did, and it's great to see Tom Pidcock back at it again and taking the win by a phenomenal 30 seconds. Word has it that he also ran 13-minute 5K pace up the steps and with a bike on his back. I mean, might have to check that on his Strava.
Nice one, but that isn't actually what we're discussing or why we're talking about Tom Pidcock today. He has just brought to light a debate and something we've discussed in the past, questioning whether the roads generally in the world are safe to ride TT bikes on. And this has sadly come about from a conversation he's had with BBC Sport due to one of his teammates at Ineos Grenadiers, Egan Bernal, going into the back of a bus whilst on a training ride in Colombia. And he has been in intensive care and in a very bad way. Thankfully, sounds like he is starting to recover. He's got broken bones, punctured lungs and all sorts, but it sounds like there is hope and his spinal cord is fine. But the debate that basically goes on, because Tom also experienced a bad crash last year in the Pyrenees when training on his TT bike, and he's asking, is it safe? Should we be doing this? And he suggests that positions are getting more and more extreme and we spend more time trying to hold these positions. You don't necessarily see where you're going. And I mean, triathletes obviously spend more time on TT bikes than cyclists because pretty much all long distance triathlon is in that position, whereas cyclists only really do it sort of small parts of the year. So it probably is something for us to discuss even more so.
Yeah, it's a really big debate, and I've often had this discussion with friends, training partners before. I guess obviously there's a lot of variable factors. I mean, it depends on the roads that you're training on. I've also trained on some fabulous roads out there where you literally it's so smooth and straight and you barely see any vehicles. Fine, fantastic, although you can also, of course, switch off sometimes on those roads. Also, I guess the position you're riding, there are some people who aren't going to be in those super aggressive positions, maybe not going super fast speeds. So yeah, cool, it's absolutely fine. But I do also know many people, and I've seen a lot of them, recklessly going through built-up areas or town centres on their TT bars because I don't know why they're doing it, because they make
their session plan,
their workout and they can't stop, or they're worried about their average power, normalized power dropping down. And you've got to think, you're on these aero bars and the brakes are here, so you don't have as much handling on the aero bars. And if you do suddenly need to brake, it's going to take you longer. You're not going to be able to respond as quickly. I
definitely don't have that problem. I think I'm more the other way, and I'm like, do I have to stay on my aero bars? Can I just stay on my base bars? I mean, my first TT bike, I could only shift gears on the pole, so I found that quite annoying. And some people might have that sort of issue of doing that, but obviously brakes come before gears, I'd say.
Definitely.
Importance and safety.
Yeah, I mean, as Tom says, with the kind of like the aggressive positions, a lot of people tucking in and focusing on that and holding their positions religiously. And that is becoming such a big factor in racing now, and like making sure and almost training those positions that, I can totally understand where he's coming from.
I mean, we've seen it in racing, haven't we? Even with Tim Don, he would have been in that position when he hit the car in Kona. Yeah. So yeah, racing is even an issue. And I think a lot of people are dialing in these positions in wind tunnels as well. And you've got this perfect position where you can really maybe strain. You can always give you a headache if you kept your head there and looked up, but you can hold it. These are what the numbers say. So it's like, right, that is that position. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah. I might get a bit of opposition here, but I personally wouldn't oppose some rules or guidelines coming in that restrict people riding in a certain way in certain areas. I mean, it's just safe for you and other people out there, and even with that, maybe fines.
Yeah, well, we've got this new in the UK, the rejigging of the highway code, which is kind of putting pedestrians above cyclists, which I think we all knew, but it's reiterating that, and you are liable as a road user on a bike of the people around you. So
it is a big topic, and we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. So please get involved. Let us know in the comment section down below if you think riding a TT bars just generally on public roads is safe or not, and any measures do you think should be taken?
Okay, moving on, as we've already discussed quite a few times in the show, this is going to be one very packed year when it comes to racing. I mean, we've got 2 Ironman World Championships.
We've got the sub-7, sub-8.
Yeah, we've got a half Ironman World Championships.
Esports World Champ Series.
Yeah, Super League, and the Super League Series on top of that.
Yeah, and the WTCS Series and the PTO Tour.
Everything, and of course, the reason we're discussing this, we have the Commonwealth Games, and selections are starting to get announced, and Team England have actually just announced their first 4 in the team, and it's Johnny Brownlee, who is continuing his sort of fight to get to the next Olympic Games. We've also got joining him Alex Yee, Georgia Taylor-Brown and Sophie Coldwell. So 3 of that Olympic gold medal winning team.
Yeah, now interesting, obviously, as you said, like Johnny saying and stating that he wants to continue racing short course up to the next Olympics. I think we thought after Tokyo, and he was suggesting that he was going to focus on the long distance racing, but clearly a slight change of mind there. And he's put his hat in for this next round. But yeah, the other surprise, I guess, and I say it very loosely a surprise, Sophie Coldwell picked over Jess Learmont. But I mean, Sophie did place 6th, I believe, at the last Commonwealth Games. So certainly, an incredibly strong athlete and has certainly earned her spot. But it's worth pointing this out. This is just the first round of selection. So this is the first 4 of what I believe would be 6 athletes, as well as also waiting to hear the para-triathlete selection.
Yeah, and we've already mentioned on the show a few weeks ago, Beth Potter was selected for Scotland, and no doubt there's going to be lots more of the nations announcing their team selections in the next few weeks.
Okay, moving on, and the pros have been teasing us with new sponsorship signings and also changes of sponsors over the last few weeks, and I'm sure we'll continue to see a lot of this over the coming months, but there's been a lot this past week or so. One of particular note is the Brownlee brothers switching from Scott Bikes to the Swiss brand BMC bikes, which is a pretty big deal, and I believe they've signed a 3-year partnership with them. So very excited to see them getting themselves set up on the Time Machine disc, which obviously Alice is going to be trying to do that sub-7 attempt on and really honing position on that. And obviously they've got the Time Machine Road, which obviously we'll hopefully see Johnny using at the Commonwealth Games later this year too.
Yeah, there's another 2 signings for Argonne 18. The first to announce this was Ruth Arstle, who has been riding, well, she was on the Specialised Shiv originally, wasn't she? And she's now already dialing in that position, working with Matt Bottrell. And the quote here was to get in an even more aero position. And I think if anyone follows Ruth knows that she's pretty good at getting aero as it is. It's going to be exciting to see what she can do with that bike. She's going to be riding the E119 Tri-Disc in this upcoming season.
Yeah, and another athlete joining her will be Joe Skipper. Absolute powerhouse on the bike, obviously. Doesn't really need any introduction, but also an athlete that will spend a lot of time obviously getting honed in on that bike.
Yeah, I think he's already been in the velodrome and in the wind tunnel, so those guys are really not leaving any stone unturned. Another new signing, Maurice Clavel has joined Giant, and he noted on his post when he announced this that he happens to be on the same bike as the Norwegians, and that's got to be a good sign, which it has, hasn't it? Whether he's going to have that same crazy position that we've seen Christian with, who knows, but he's also announced a new shoe signing, and he's going to be running in Hoka's this year.
Yeah, joining Jan Frodeno.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he's following in the footsteps of some Olympic champions.
Well, yeah,
there, isn't
talking
he?
of Olympic champions, Flora Duffy has also signed to Morton, who obviously are a fuel partner. They actually contacted her, having spotted gel packets essentially shoved down her top in training sessions and also racing. And yeah, so they're going to be working together, which is quite a cool story.
Yeah, I love it when it's an organic one like that. That such a quality athlete is just using their product and buying it. There's nothing else beyond that. And then and I think they're pretty picky, Morton, aren't they?
Yeah.
Final one we've noticed, we've mentioned a while ago that Watty Inc. has had a big rebrand, is now under the branding of Sparrow. Well, he has just joined up, or the company have just joined up with Craig Alexander and Andy Potts. So we're going to be interested to see what's going to come out from Sparrow. What the tech? Mark's favourite section. Just about got it now. We've got an exciting new one to start this off. Canyon have just announced a new updated version, a new version of their Speedmax. It's now coming with a Shimano 12-speed group set. And what the most I'm excited about is the new colourway. It's apparently called Silver Green, and it looks super slick.
You and me together, Heather. I mean, I think a lot of people have excitedly been waiting for Canyon to have some Speedmaxes in stock. I've had quite a lot of messages about it, and people thinking that I would miraculously be able to sort them some Speedmax.
Or donate yours, maybe.
Sorry, no. But anyway, this silver green paintwork is...
I think it looks very GTN-esque.
Yeah.
I think I need an upgrade.
Yeah.
You're listening, Canyon.
Now moving on, and I've kind of almost ironically added this to this section because it's really not techie at all. Alistair Brownlee has been talking about his prep for his sub-7 attempt and the fact that it's pretty grim here in the UK and having to train indoors a lot, and the fact that he trains in a 400-year-old cowshed. Yeah, I just thought this is quite funny given that last week we were talking so much about the Norwegians and all the cutting edge science and technology. They're doing 2,000 bottles of water with infused oxygen isotopes, and Alistair Brownlee, also one of the greatest triathletes out there, training a 400-year-old cowshed, and that's that.
I think he loves it, doesn't he? He loves playing that card of like, I'm a Yorkshireman and it's all tough up north. I mean, well, it is tough up north, but the way he goes about it.
But yeah, what the tech.
On to race news, and we don't have any racing news, but we do have the news. The first bit is a little bit sad. Sadly, Challenge Wanaka, the festival around it, has been cancelled already. It was due to be held on the 19th of February, but due to Omicron, it's putting a dampener on things again. The organisers have said that you can have a 75% refund or transfer to next year, and fingers crossed there will be a next year. But it does sound like New Zealand is starting to get hit again by that variant reaching their shores, and I know that they've been in semi-lockdown, so I really feel for those guys, but fingers crossed they'll get through it.
Yeah, really sad, and obviously such a good race that we're looking forward to talking about. Now, also recently, James and myself were very fortunate to sample a bit of gravel cycling, but also gravel within a triathlon. Now, obviously, gravel cycling is becoming very, very popular and almost becoming quite mainstream now, and it seems like USA Triathlon have jumped on this, and they have announced a new gravel triathlon series. So they're going to have 8 triathlon races, all in which include gravel on the bike section. That's going to be held across entirely different regions of America.
It sounds amazing. I would love to do this, and it's something that's, I think, making triathlon more accessible. It's, you're away from the road, so it's safer to start with. It's somewhere in between Xterra, where you've really need those technical skills, but you may be intimidated by going on a road for your first triathlon. But also, it's highly competitive. They're holding a national championships this year for the first time. You don't actually have to qualify for that, so it's open to everyone in the States. And I just hope that other countries learn and take on from that, because I'd love it if we had something similar here in the UK.
Well, yeah, just our experience of the gravel triathlon that Jan hosted was fantastic. Such an amazing day out, and you can sort of tackle it as you like. You can really be competitive at the front or just enjoy the experience. As you say, I think Xterra is amazing. I really enjoy that, but for some people it could be slightly overwhelming. So this is kind of that middle ground, but also help you build your confidence up to doing things like that as well. So so many pluses to it. So I'm really excited to see where this can go.
Yeah. Final bit of race news coming from Zwift. Their new version, or the next season of the Zwift Duathlon League, is about to start. In actual fact, it starts today. It's going to be 4 races every Wednesday running throughout February, and it consists of a 35-minute bike, a 10-minute break or changeover, and a 15-minute run. And I know about this because I've already experienced it. Manon from GTN and myself had a bit of a head-to-head. The video is actually out now if you want more details on it, but you can also sign up to that league. You need to move quickly to get on for this month.
And finally, we have the Caption Competition. And last week we used this photo of Andy Potts from the Ironman World Championships. I don't know what he's doing, to be honest, but we had some great captions coming in. First up from Oscar Doyle, he said, "Right guys, this is the last Ryan Reynolds impression I'm doing. I have a triathlon career to get back to."
Yeah, not a bad, being compared to Ryan Reynolds.
I can see it though. I would never have thought it before, but yeah.
Yeah, good one. Guillaume Borg comes with, "Hold on to that beer a bit longer. I'll sip it after the podium ceremony."
Nice. Bethany Blount, "Hold your applause until my time is verified." Nice.
On cue. Lukasz Bekalant says, "When they ask how many coffees you had this morning."
Nice. But now for the winner, and this is clearly a long-time viewer of our channel, Christopher Bourneman, "Muffins? I'll take 10, please."
You would probably. That is a wonderful response, and the reason we're so excited about it, you need to check out, the clip here from Andy Potts when he was asked what he has for breakfast.
What do you have for breakfast on the morning of a race?
Muffins.
Just muffins?
Muffins are just this, just a bomb of calories. Not necessarily the best calories, but they transport well. And you can stick them in bags and stuff, and who cares if they get squished, because they just turn into this goo ball, and then they taste good. And plus, I like chocolate, so give myself a little treat before the day begins. Yeah, I'm a muffin man for sure.
Well, I have to say that one did take me by surprise when we were filming it. I've never experienced anyone being so passionate about their breakfast and specifically muffins. So thank you, Andy Potts, for that. I think he was named the Muffin Man for quite a long time on the channel.
Impressive.
But now moving on to this week's Caption Comp photo. It's this chap doing the press-ups, but I just love the way there's a space that's been made around him. So do your best, leave your captions in the comments section down below. But that is it for the show this week. We have quite an interesting video coming up on the channel. Heather and myself tried out synchro swimming. We actually were really put through our paces with it. And it was
I was going to say we were actually really good.
No. Stay tuned because you will see Heather and myself actually performing a synchro routine to the Team GB synchro.
Oh my God, I've not seen it yet. I'm looking forward to seeing it, I think. But anyway, yeah, keep an eye out. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show today. Give us a like. Remember, hit that globe to subscribe. And there should be a link on the screen right now for the GTN shop. If you like to look at these jumpers or if you spotted our new cycle kit, that is all on there. So go and check it out. And there's a couple of videos to leave you with. We've already mentioned myself versus Manon in a duathlon challenge. That is up on screen now, as well as how to breathe when swimming freestyle.